Hey, this is Nessie with the old camera again. As you guys can probably notice, this is not my usual background that I usually use when I do reviews. Oh my god, Nessie, where is all the decorations? Thought you had Taylor Lautner posters. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna get in depth with that. Well then, where's your Breaking Dawn poster? At least you could have put that up. I just figured, why would I pay $7 for a poster when I could pay that much to see Breaking Dawn again? So, as always, I went to see the pre-screening for Breaking Dawn, and since today a lot of you guys might be seeing Breaking Dawn, maybe you're seeing it next week, maybe you're seeing it when it dies down, you guys want to hear what a Twilight fan wants to say about this, you come to the right place. But if you guys don't want spoilers, leave right now, okay? Because I'm going to be talking a lot about spoilers. I'm pretty much summarizing the major events of the movie that you guys might be excited about, but out of order. So guys don't want spoilers. Don't be mad at me if you guys are doing that. I'm warning you right now. Leave. Oh wow, I sound like my English teacher. Oh my gosh. Spoilers are necessary because I explain this to like everybody at school all the time. Hi guys. I can't just say, and then Jacob ran away because I can't tell you that, and then but then the Volturi, yeah, they come in because I can't tell you that either, because it'll spoil too much for you. No, I'm sorry, I had to blab out what I have to say, okay? And just before I say anything negative, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. Unlike with New Moon, I'm sorry. Tell you guys the truth. You can tell with my review with New Moon. I didn't actually like it that much, honestly. It's my least favorite out of the whole thing. I'm telling you this right now, okay? Right here in 2011 compared to 2009. I hated it. Just to let you guys know, I know that Stephanie was the producer, okay? I know that. So don't take my comments the wrong way. I'm just saying, okay. So here we go. Here's my review on the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1.
If you walk away, every day it'll rain,
Okay, so as always, we're going to start with the negative things, okay? And I'm going to start off with the acting. Remember, we had a good time with the clips, you know, kind of kidding around with Billy Burke. Oh my god, you're pregnant, you know, that thing. This time, we're going to pick on another character. Seth. Okay, I'm sorry for you Seth fans, okay? I'm one. I was disappointed with Seth's performance. He wasn't a big character in Eclipse. He was there for like one scene. Breaking Dawn comes along. He's one of the major characters. He's Edward's best friend. And Beau Stewart totally threw it on the ground, alright? In the best Lonely Island impersonation you can think of. Sure, Seth was funny. Okay, there's this one scene where he's like, yeah, Jake, it's you and me against the world, man. Yeah, I laughed at that. Everyone laughed at that, okay? But for the rest of it, for the rest of his performance, other than the humor, it wasn't that good. One scene where he's like, where he was trying to convince Jacob that he didn't want to go back to Sam's pack. I'm not going back. No, I'm not going. Would you be convinced with that kind of face? If I was Jacob, I'd say, no, you have to turn around and go back. If he was probably convincing enough, in the real world, I mean, he'd probably say, fine, let's go, come on, let's go. And as some of you guys know, or maybe none of you guys know, Seth is my rebound guy, okay? Jacob is my guy. If you guys don't know, Jacob's my favorite character out of the whole entire saga. So, as you guys know, okay, since I'm Renesmee the Werepire, obviously, I end up with Jacob, okay? But in all reality, Jacob ends up with Renesmee. Edward runs off with Bella. And all the other wolf guys are pretty much taken. Seth is a good guy. I'd probably date him. What am I going to do now? What am I supposed to do now? I have to read the freaking Twilight books again just to remember what Seth's character is like. I don't even know if I want to do that. Also, as you guys know, I have a thing about Kristen Stewart's acting. Honestly, I'm sorry. I hate her because she can't act, okay? Even Seth MacFarlane admitted it if you guys saw that episode. Kristen's acting in this one is relatively better, actually. But she was still kind of awkward. I guess she was kind of more or less better because all she had to do was just lie down and act sick. Actually, the makeup for that was pretty good. I was wondering how in hell they did that. So even like at the wedding, she's getting friggin' married to the love of her life, and she doesn't even look that happy. I get that in the books, she was kind of, didn't really approve of it, and then eventually, you know, when she's in the middle of the aisle, then she realizes, oh, hey, what's there to be scared about, okay? Now, she kind of more or less did that in the movie, but instead, when the so-called realization, I guess she had it, maybe it was just me, maybe everyone else got it too, the realization she had when she was in the middle of the aisle, she's supposed to say, like, I felt like I should have ran up the aisle instead. She kind of kept the same expression. First she's all like, realization happens, then she's back. You know, she doesn't look happy whatsoever. And also, as you guys know, there were some scenes in each Twilight movie that some of them I approve of, some of them I love, especially with the clips. The additional scenes that they put in, I really liked them because they were good, they were necessary. Some of them in here, not really. Like this is a major spoiler here for the ending. Okay, just letting you know, you can like skip 30 seconds off if you want right now. But there's a battle scene after Bella gives birth to Renesmee, right? Jacob's still in the house, and he realized that he imprinted on Renesmee, whatever. And then for some reason, there's a battle scene between Sam and the pack. I get that wasn't in the book because it was in Jacob's point of view, and they kind of just cut it off. But I really didn't see a point of that. I'm an action person, but I really didn't think that was very necessary. Already the movie felt long enough. So you could have taken that part out and just skipped ahead. Or Edward could have just stood up and said, hey, Sam, wait 3 more days. I don't know if she's dead or not. Another thing I didn't understand about that scene actually was, for some reason, well, I understood why and how, but because Sam and Jacob are in 2 different packs, you know, they can't hear each other when they're wolves anymore, right? Or at all. So then when they're confronting with each other after Jacob and Prince Renesmee, and he's outside trying to, he's not really dealing with him, but he's kind of fighting along with the Cullens. Edward's all like, he imprinted, and you can't hurt the imprint. Okay, yeah, I know you can't hurt the imprint. It's common sense, okay? Jacob is supposed to rule over Sam, right? Okay, so if Sam kills Renesmee, Jacob already has the power to get everybody to gang up on Sam and probably kill him or punish him, do whatever he can, honestly. But instead, no, Edward has to explain it to the whole world. One that really, really extremely bugged me was, you guys know how it was split into books, right? So, in the middle of the honeymoon, you know, Edward and Bella having a good time. Next thing you know, they switch to La Push, and all the wolves are having a good time with their imprints. And then, and I was like, okay, so now it's Jacob's point of view. Why isn't she pregnant yet? I don't know, maybe it was after, or maybe I'm wrong. But honestly, I felt like that was the wrong place to put it. They could have put it after she realized she was pregnant, and that would be it. Just keep it going. There would be nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with the placement of that. Just to let you guys know, you guys might be excited for this, they finally explained Edward's past. If you guys remember in New Moon, I was commenting about how, oh my gosh, they didn't explain how it was actually not Carlisle's choice, it was actually Edward's mother's choice. No, they don't explain that, but I mean the part where Edward kind of runs off from Carlisle to rebel against him. I kept thinking, okay, that would have been a good place for Twilight. That would have probably been a good place for New Moon. That probably would have been a good place for Eclipse. Breaking Dawn Part 1, that is way too late. If I was Bella and Edward told me that story right there and then, before the wedding, I still wouldn't be convinced. Like, okay, you rebelled against him, so what? If you guys don't know, I actually only read Breaking Dawn once, but I read half of it, and then I heard the same half on audiobook, because I never found the time, because, you know, I'm too busy being awesome. I would usually remember memorable quotes. Like, the thing I loved about Eclipse was that all the good quotes were in there. Which is pretty much the whole book. But with Breaking Dawn, there weren't very many. The only one that I caught that was actually in the movie that stood out to me was, I'll be the one in white. Everything else I was like, okay, this is not where it's supposed to be. Where's that quote? Where is that quote? Well, there was one in particular that I was glad they didn't put in. But we'll get into that later. There was one character actually who was there for like half the movie. She, you know, she had dark hair. She was always at Charlie's house. She was always at Billy's house. I don't know how she managed it. But then at first I was thinking, oh, it's Emily. After that, then I was like, no, it's not. Is it Leah? No, it's not. That's not Leah. She has longer hair than that. And then it struck me. It's Sue. Or is it? I don't know. She never talked through the whole thing. She's there for half the movie. She doesn't speak. That's just like my little argument about Bree never telling her name. Maybe she did talk. Maybe I just didn't catch that. But it wasn't enough for me to remember that it was Sue. Okay, another thing about character, just to let you know, I love Robert Pattinson, okay? Like, I love his work, because he can actually act unlike his girlfriend. Sorry. I loved him in Remember Me. I loved him in, like, Harry Potter and that kind of stuff. Yes, I do love Harry Potter. Okay? I just don't love it enough. So, please forgive me when I say that, he was really, really good. Okay? That's a good thing about him. But there was one part, Melissa Rosenberg, sorry, because she's the one who wrote the screenplay. It's probably her fault, that she would make Edward yell at Bella. You know, she's pregnant. Just 10 minutes ago, Alice just said, nobody yell around Bella because it'll put stress on her and the fetus. He yelled at her after Carla says that she'd probably die before even giving birth. And Edward's all like, we're supposed to be partners. Okay, you did a good job of that. Edward would not say that. This is Edward Cullen, not, I don't know, 300? I don't know. Think of something awesome. Even I felt stressed, and I'm not the one that's pregnant here. I mean, he apologized later on, but, you know, still, freaking yelled at her. Plus, there was one part I really didn't understand. You see Leah, Seth, and Jacob, and they're all kind of just standing there. And then they're all like, I can't hear them. It's so peaceful. And they're in human form, keep that in mind, okay? No duh, you can't hear them. Last time I checked, you can only hear them when you're wolves. The privacy you get is when you're human. That's the benefit of it. Leah did comment that she said, as soon as I decided to leave, I couldn't hear them anymore. Okay, I get that, considering that maybe she was a wolf when she decided to leave. That's understandable. They're friggin' human. That's what really bugged me. And if you're talking about wolf howls, everyone can friggin' hear them. Otherwise, you might be deaf. Even Bella could hear them. And she's not a werewolf. Is she? No, she's not. I'm gonna be picky a little bit here about their choice of casting now. Another spoiler, when Jacob imprints on Renesmee, you get a little view of what she looks like in the future. Like, you don't think, I'm gonna have to argue with her. Not because I'm Renesmee, no. But it's because I'm Renesmee, I have to argue with this. She wasn't beautiful? I don't know. She was pretty. Like, you see her for, like, maybe a few seconds. You see her as a kid, you see her like that, but she wasn't the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Plus, I couldn't imagine Taylor and her holding hands. Like, you see their hands, that's it. It's like seeing this, except more like this, I guess. I don't know. But you never see them together. I can't even visualize it. I was waiting for that, but it never came. So that kind of disappointed me a little bit. Also, as you guys may remember, in New Moon, remember I commented about how Edward went to Volterra in his pajamas. I have a reverse argument about that. Why is Bella going to bed without pajamas? I'm not talking about the lingerie stuff. No. I'm talking about why she's going to bed with a shirt that I'd probably wear to the mall. You can go see a royal family in your pajamas, but Bella doesn't think it's very good to go to bed in pajamas. She can just go in her regular clothes, right? Especially the day before your wedding. Okay, that makes sense. This is a pretty bad comment. Like, the movie felt really long. I was wondering when it was going to end already, because especially for the honeymoon part, I was wondering when it was going to end. During, the battle scene that I told you guys about, I wanted to just... I almost got up because I thought, okay, Jacob imprinted on Renesmee. Okay, I'm gonna go now. No, it doesn't work like that. There's a friggin' battle scene, and I have to wait for another 5-10 minutes for it to be over. Long story short, it felt long, okay, until the pregnancy. Then it felt really short, and then during the birth scene, it felt really long. Too long. See, my hand even goes off the screen. And this is just like a little itty-bitty thing. I didn't like how the credits were rolled. I know, this is stupid, but I didn't like it. I found that they made it look like a regular movie. This is not a regular movie for some people. This is Twilight. You can't just have white with name, with red lettering, and then suddenly red with black lettering. You can't just keep doing that. That really pissed me off. I was like, oh my god, it's so bright, and then, oh, okay, that's better. Oh my god, it's so bright. Just like, remember that scene in Eclipse where first it's all dark, and then next thing you know, hello, it's really bright. Every time I see that movie, I go, whoa, ow, ow, ow. That's actually what it felt like during the credits. I did not like the way that they portrayed it. First thing you guys want to hear about is the wedding. I know, everyone wants to hear about the almighty wedding of the century. Come on. You know you did. Yeah, you didn't? Oh. Well, I'm going to talk about it anyways. Now, the wedding was like... Sorry, I'm just overwhelmed with how perfect it was, alright? It was white, it was beautiful. I want my friggin' wedding to look like that. Alice Cullen, come over here when Taylor and I get married. I want my friggin' wedding to look just like that, okay? Okay, now you guys want to hear me talk about Billy Burke, okay? As always, he was funny. He was even more funny this time. Every time he opened his mouth, I was waiting for a punchline to come in. It was so funny, especially with his wedding speech. I know Edward's gonna be a really good, because I'm a cop and I have a gun, and I know how to use it. And Jessica's was like kind of over the top, but I liked it. So first of all, it was Bella that was crazy over Edward, and now Edward is crazy over Bella. Even though she's not captain of the volleyball team or the student council. And Renee sang some random song that I didn't know, but I thought that was really funny. You know, typical mothers in the movies. I've never been to a wedding where a mother does that, but it's still funny. Or with the acting. I can't say that Taylor's a good actor, but I can't say he's a bad actor either, honestly. Because the only movies that I've honestly seen him in, I think I've only seen about 2, which would be like Cheaper by the Dozen 2, I believe, and Shark Boy and Mob Girl, where, long story short, I had the hugest crush on him. It would be unbiased for me to say, oh, he's a good actor, because, you know, those movies were when he was 12. I didn't see Abduction. I'm not gonna even go there. I loved how he portrayed Jacob, as always. How sarcastic he was, how sad he was, and when he stood up to Sam, I kind of laughed. It was believable, but I still laughed. He was like emphasizing every single word he said. I was not born to follow you or anyone else. Yeah! And not to mention, he's a good crier. Good. That was good. Whenever I see a guy cry in movies, I always compare them to Shane West, because as you guys know, he was the actor in A Walk to Remember, played Landon, and he has to be the worst cry I've ever seen. I'll put a little clip here. You can laugh if you want, okay? I always laugh whenever I see that. After that I go. My absolute favorite thing, other than the wedding, that I loved about this movie was the wolf thoughts. As you guys remember, I've always commented on how I wanted wolf thoughts to come into it, because you guys know, it's really crazy when you have a million thoughts in your head all at once. They finally showed it in Breaking Dawn. Thank you. Oh my god. Now you know how crazy it is. They're all like, oh, it's so disgusting. Oh my god, this is so awesome. Oh my gosh, this is so stupid. They're all coming all together at once, and that's how crazy it is. You see Sam, him as a black wolf, saying like, we have to protect the tribe. Cool stuff. The memorable quote that I said that I'm glad they took out would have to be the puppies one. The puppies, if you guys haven't read the book, there was the scene where Edward and Jacob take a walk, he's trying to tell Jacob that if he can convince Bella to get rid of the thing, he will pretty much let Jacob have sex with her to have a kid, because it's safer. I'm so glad they took that out. Oh my god, he's offering sex to her. That is disgusting. As I said before in that little scene where everybody's with their imprint, Claire, you guys remember Claire? She's the one that Quill imprinted on. She's finally shown. We don't know, well, we don't know if she's Quillian or not, because we only saw maybe the back of her, because she was, but you could tell that she was the imprint with Quill, because Quill was with her. But I'm gonna note right now, she looks like me when I was younger. Another thing, some of you guys might like Leah. Some of you guys might like Leah. I'm half and half with her. I like her on one hand, but at the same time, I don't. Because, well, most of the like for her is just pity, mostly. And I'm like, oh my god, her story is so sad, because it is. Not much of a female dog. Yes, bitch. She's not that much of a bitch in this movie, which I'm actually glad for. Because, she wasn't really that much of a bitch in Breaking Dawn as she was in, New Moon, for example. But she finally makes a point. I really like I don't know if it was in the book, but in the movie, when she was trying to convince Jacob that she should stay, Jacob told her, Seth doesn't want you here, I don't like you, and you don't like me either, so just go back to Sam. And then she said this one thing, I don't have to like you, I just have to follow you. I just don't want to go back and be the ex-girlfriend that Sam can get away from. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what, that is so Leah. If that wasn't in the book, I'd say they finally have a line that actually suits the character, and I applaud you for that. And the one thing that I actually really liked, you guys would probably think that this is my least favorite scene, but when Jacob is walking toward Renesmee, about to kill her and everything, then, he sees Renesmee, but when she looks at him, you obviously know he imprints her and he just stops. You see her eyes, and they're the most adorable thing. Oh my gosh. Once again, it kind of reminds me of my eyes from when I was younger. When in the theater was like, I was probably the loudest because it was so cute. And the one thing that I almost teared up at was when I think they were talking about the battle thing, but Jacob's still getting over the fact that finally he imprinted on someone, and then he kneels down to her and then that's when I realized he's bowing to her because he found someone and he knows he has a reason to live right now, and it's this little girl that he wanted to kill, but in reality, she is his soulmate. I'm gonna go cry now. I'm sorry. I just can't do this. I'm honestly tearing up. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I have this new thing, guys, called Switzerland comments. I'm just making it for, breaking down part 1 and 2, probably, maybe part 2, but right now, it's gonna, as you guys know, Emmett's my favorite Cullen, because he's big and he's Cullen Lutz. If you ever see me in real life, or if I ever see you in real life, you better have your arms open, because I'm gonna run to you for a hug. It's gotta be on my bucket list now. That'll be so awesome. I'm gonna put the Switzerland comments down below. As always, I put my script down there, and as you guys know, it's a point form. You guys can't understand it except for me, but I'm gonna try to make it so you guys can respond to it. They're little funny things that happen either in the... Okay, so now for my rating. As you guys know, I always put a rate for this movie. Just don't listen to my rate for New Moon, because 2009 I gave it a 3.5 or a 4, something like that. Honestly, right now, 2011, I'd give it a 2. Not a 2.5, not a 1 either, or a 1.5. Just a plain old 2. And as you guys remember, I gave Eclipse a 4.5 and a 5, somewhere around those lines. I think that's what I gave it. This one, I'm going to give it the same rating that I gave New Moon. I'm going to give it a 3.5 or 4. I'm stuck between those two. These are my final comments here, okay? It was better than New Moon. That's why I gave it a big rating. But Eclipse, honestly, is still my favorite. Ask me what's my favorite what's my favorite book out of the whole saga. Usually I say, oh, it's Eclipse, but then sometimes I have that moment where I think, okay, wait a second, Breaking Dawn's really good too, so what about that one? Honestly, now I can see why I picked Eclipse always. But I don't know, maybe I might change my mind. I think it's like one of those movies where you have to see it over and over to really like it. I'm going to be watching it again with a few of my friends because, you know, they want to go when it dies down. Maybe my opinion might change, who knows. If it does, I'll probably put little comments on there, you know, links below for my Facebook and Twitter and whatnot. You know, stalk me on Twitter and keep an eye on it. Okay, so sorry about the major spoilers, you guys, unless you guys have already seen the movie. Yeah, so, if you guys have already seen it, comment down below if you agree with me and disagree with me, if something I left out. Maybe Sue did talk and I don't remember. Maybe she did. I think she did, but I don't remember what the hell she said. It wasn't enough. Hope you guys enjoyed my review on the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1. Subscribe for more. We're almost at the end of the saga. Tips for you guys, just to let you guys know, this is not a spoiler thing, okay? For about 5 minutes max, I promise you. There's just a little bit more of Breaking Dawn. If you're a Twilight fan and you've read the books, you would know why it's important. If not, you guys would say, well, what's the big deal with that, you know? But it's pretty important. I'd watch it if I were you.